always suspects that this might happen, but one thinks that the resources, and the capabilities of the men and women will be on standby, that they'll be able to cope with any situation that comes up. But apparently, some people were asleep on the job.
Mel Gibson has finally spoken out about a bombshell revelation tied to the LA fires, claiming critical evidence linked to major Hollywood scandals may have been destroyed. His statements have sparked renewed speculation about a potential cover-up involving high-profile celebrities. Whispers of missing documents and concealed truths are circulating, and many are now questioning whether the fires were an unfortunate coincidence or part of a calculated plan to protect some powerful figures. With Mel's allegations gaining traction, the spotlight is now on what secrets might have been buried and who's working overtime to keep them hidden. So, Mel Gibson has been low-key making a comeback, especially with his recent project, The Continental. But amidst all this Hollywood action, he's also making headlines for some pretty wild comments about the LA fires. He's now claiming that these fires might have been used to cover up some serious evidence, like someone wanted to destroy major secrets before they got out. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, but given all the crazy stuff happening behind the scenes in Hollywood right now, it's hard not to wonder if he's on to something. Many believe that the fires could have been strategically planned to wipe out some dirt. Considering all the drama around him lately, could Mel be the one to shed light on something we weren't supposed to know? Definitely feels like there's more than meets the eye here.
Apparently, the residents in Corral Canyon caught an arsonist up there. And the guy was all tooled up with fire gear and equipment and stuff like that, ready to go, and he had been lighting fires.
We all know that Mel has a unique relationship with Hollywood. His career has not been without controversy. Mel faced backlash over past incidents and has been known for navigating the movie industry in his own way. Nevertheless, he continues to find support within the industry and remains a prominent figure in the game, and that is why so many still stick with him and support his opinion. So, Mel Gibson has been the center of attention ever since those devastating California wildfires took place. His Malibu home was completely destroyed, and he called the whole thing emotionally devastating. He barely managed to grab a few essentials before it all went up in flames. Things like passports and important documents. Can you imagine? He said it felt surreal to be away from home, knowing the place he'd lived in for 15 years was reduced to ashes. And while he's heartbroken, he also admitted feeling kind of relieved, like losing all his stuff lifted some weird weight off his shoulders. But Mel didn't just share his feelings. He also pointed fingers. He's seriously unhappy with how California's been handling these disasters. He didn't hold back when talking about Governor Gavin Newsom, blaming him for what he called monumental mismanagement. He also slammed the state's water management, saying they could have done way more to prevent this level of destruction.
In 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything, and then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on fire.
And here's where things get even spicier. Mel's comments didn't stop with the government's response. He's been hinting at some conspiracy-level stuff. He's questioning whether the fires were intentionally worsened or if there's some hidden agenda behind the state's actions. Obviously, that stirred up a ton of controversy. And now people are debating his theories almost as much as his personal loss.
In the events like this, you sort of look, is it on purpose? Which, it's an insane thing to think.
But a lot of people wonder why Mel is taking this type of approach. And if you know Mel Gibson, then you also know that this is his way get back. So when Mel suggested that these wildfires were convenient, it wasn't just about water pressure or poor infrastructure. Some people believe he was hinting at something bigger, maybe even a Hollywood-level thing. We all know Mel has had a rocky relationship with Hollywood. He's been vocal in the past about what he sees as the industry's dark side. From calling out power players to hinting at agendas most people don't want to touch, Mel's disdain for the elite isn't exactly a secret.
It is.
Yeah.
The system is completely based on money.
Yeah.
The studio system.
Yeah.
To a degree, I think the way I look into the system is based on.
So, when his home was destroyed in the Malibu wildfires, some speculated that his comments about arson or convenience weren't just about poor emergency response. They might have been him pointing fingers at people behind the scenes who allegedly wanted these fires to serve a purpose. Now, Let's take this theory up a notch. Hollywood has long been accused of having a hidden agenda, controlling narratives, silencing dissenters, and ensuring that certain secrets never see the light of day. Could Mel have been suggesting that these wildfires were part of a larger effort to bury something, perhaps even something incriminating? It's no secret that disasters, natural or otherwise, often shift the public's focus. And if there's anyone who's seen the inner workings of Hollywood, it's Mel. He might have been trying to say, pay attention, this isn't just nature taking its course. Of course, this is all speculation, but it's not out of character for Mel to make statements that get people talking. Whether you see him as a truth teller or someone who's just out for revenge on an industry that turned its back on him, his remarks have sparked plenty of debate. And knowing Mel, this probably won't be the last time he drops a bombshell like this. At the end of the day, one thing is for sure, this whole ordeal has left him feeling stripped down. But he also thinks it might be some kind of reset, a way to prepare him for what's next, especially with his upcoming film projects. But that's not all. See, Mel hopped on the Joe Rogan podcast a few weeks back, and boy, did he have a thing or two to say. Okay, so Mel Gibson was on the Joe Rogan Experience recently, and the drama was off the charts. At the time, he still wasn't sure if his house got destroyed or not.
This morning, for example, I would be surprised if my home is still there.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. The Palisades is on fire.
But the wildfires aren't the only thing that they talked about. It gets wilder. Mel started talking about health stuff, and this is where things took a turn. He claimed that 3 of his friends were cured of late-stage cancer using certain types of drugs that people usually do not associate with curing cancer. People were like, what? Because there's zero legit science backing that up. Naturally, it didn't take long for groups like the Canadian Cancer Society to call him out, saying this kind of talk is not only misleading, but straight up dangerous. And they're not wrong. Imagine people clinging to false hope like that. But this is far from the only time that Mel got into it with folks from all walks of life. Mel's personality is like that. He does what he wants, and he doesn't care what you have to say about it. Mel Gibson had a roller coaster of a career. He had high highs and low lows. He's undeniably talented, but he's also found himself in one controversy after another, and he just keeps on delivering. First up, 2006. This was the moment when everything kind of fell apart for Mel. He got pulled over for a DUI, and instead of just taking the L, he went on this wild rant saying quite inappropriate things.
Mel Gibson was pulled over early Friday morning for speeding and drunk driving. It could have been a standard celebrity traffic stop.
Obviously, it didn't take long for that to blow up in his face. Hollywood practically slammed the door on him after that, and for nearly 10 years, it was like Mel, who? But here's the thing. Mel eventually apologized, calling his comments horrific and admitting they came from a place of deep personal flaws. And guess who vouched for him? Robert Downey Jr. RDJ asked Hollywood to give Mel another chance, and that definitely helped. His big comeback was Hacksaw Ridge, which not only crushed it at the box office, but also snagged 6 Oscar nominations. A win for Mel, but the stain from that scandal? Still there. Okay, moving on to 2010, a rough year for Mel. His ex, Oksana Grigorieva, accused him of domestic violence. And let me tell you, the receipts were bad. There were audio recordings where Mel was screaming threats and using, let's just say, very colorful language.
This is all about her, and this is about standing up to domestic violence. This is not to be silent about domestic violence. This is a highly publicized case.
She also claimed he laid a hand on her during an argument, which he didn't deny outright but pleaded no contest to misdemeanor battery. That got him probation, community service, and anger management classes. This wasn't just a legal issue. It was a PR nightmare. Even people who might have been rooting for his redemption after the DUI incident were like, this is too much. But wait, there's more. Over the years, Mel has also been accused of making inappropriate comments on race and gender. Actress Winona Ryder once said that he made some inappropriate comments to her at a party in the 90s, though Mel denied it. And then there's the ongoing chatter about him allegedly using slurs behind the scenes. Whether all of it's true or not, it's added to this perception of him as the bad guy in Hollywood. Perhaps those are the reasons why he's now airing out their dirty secrets and finally showing the world Hollywood's dark side. At the end of the day, Mel Gibson is one of those people who you can't really sum up in a few words. He's talented, no one's denying that. He's directed some incredible films and had iconic roles. But he also had a bunch of controversies that follow him around wherever he goes. That's just how it goes when you're in the media 24/7. Still, he keeps coming back, which says something about his resilience. But what do you think about Mel Gibson and his recent comments on the wildfires? Do you think those were deliberate? And do you think some people wanted dirty evidence gone too? Let us know about it down below.